What's going on, everybody? It's your favorite dating coach, Elliot Scott, and as you can see by the title below, we are going to discuss why your fine ass, your amazing personality, whatever you want to call it, your amazing self, why do you keep on attracting low quality, emotionally unavailable men who don't want relationships? Okay, so we're going to jump right into this. I want to first off say that there's many reasons why this happens, and we're going to go over a bunch of them, but I think the main two reasons are you have a horrible filtering process, which we will get into, and two, you have these particular traits that these men absolutely love. So I want to start with traits, okay? You have to understand that dating is a game of risk avoidance. I say in all my videos, I know I'm regurgitating the same thing, but hear me out here. When you are on the dating market, okay, you're out there, you're exploring, you're looking for men and vice versa. When a man doesn't want a relationship, or a man's emotionally unavailable, or a man's unsure what he wants, okay, but he sees a cute girl like you, he knows he's attracted to you, okay? So think of it first off like these men, I hate to say it like this, but it's true. I'm not saying all men are like this. I'm talking about these particular men that you keep on attracting. They're looking for prey, okay? They're looking for prey, meaning they are looking for a particular type of woman to perform this type of act on, and this woman has to have a particular set of traits for it to work. So these guys are going out there and they know they don't want a relationship, so they obviously want something else, and they have to look for women who are going to fall for it. And these traits, right, that tell a guy, aha, I know I got her, I know this is going to work, right? These traits are usually very nurturing, caring, kind, selfless traits. Now, I'm not saying don't be this type of person, just be weary, okay? I'm not saying these aren't important. They're definitely important in a relationship. But, when the job of a man is to find a prey, again, I hate to say it like that, but you guys know what I mean. It's easier to find it on women who either, these men know how to perform the act. They know, how to be a con artist. They know what you're looking for. They see these traits of yours, and then they kind of attach onto it, and they're like, okay, I'm going to paint myself as this nice guy who wants a relationship, who's this, who's that, who's different than all these jerks she ever dated, and she's going to fall for it. And because here's the traits now, because you are caring, kind, selfless. You see the good in people. You're really nice and sweet. You're selfless. You're a people pleaser. You want acceptance. Maybe you have a void to fill. Maybe self-esteem issues. When guys see this in a woman, he looks at it and he's like, oh, this is low risk. Now, why is it low risk? Because he knows, okay, that I am portraying this particular guy that she wants. And on top of that, she is showing traits that she is going to, not even gullible, that's not even the word, but you're going to show traits where you're going to deal with it, meaning you're going to give me more chances. You're going to put up with the BS. You're going to see the good in me. You're going to give me the benefit of the doubt. And these women are always getting played. So what do you do here? I'm not saying don't do that stuff. I'm not saying don't be a nice woman. What you do is the second thing, right? Remember how I talked about filtering? You got to know how to filter these guys. You could be fun. You could be flirty. You just can't let them control the pace. You just can't let them, in and not have a filtering process. So the 5-step filter, or 4-step, depends how many steps you want to add to it. You can always get more complex. You know how it is. You want to add to this, right? I always say, at least do these 4 or 5 things. At least do these things. And you will be good at, I think, filtering 90% of men, okay? And they're very, very, very simple, but they're very fundamental, meaning with their simplicity, the better you are at dating, reading people, understanding people, like at my level, and again, I'm not bragging, I just do this for a living, you can you can see between the lines, right? There's a difference between reading the lines and reading between the lines. You can get very good at it. So the first thing is ask a man right away. Ask a man, what are you looking for? This means asking him on the dating app before your first date. If you're on a first date, ask on the first date. Do not fall for anything other than I'm looking for something serious. I'm looking for a relationship. If he says, I'm just seeing what's out there. I'm open to a relationship. No, I don't need you to be open to a relationship. I need you to want a relationship. It shouldn't be an option, buddy. Like, don't fall for that shit, okay? Do not fall for that. Now, the pushback I get with a lot of this is, okay, Elliot, yeah, no shit. I always do that. And it's also on my dating app and his dating app that we're looking for the same thing. These guys are lying. True, they might be lying. Some are, some aren't, right? You still want to ask it, though, for the following. You want to frame this, okay, that what this is, this situationship, this dynamic is the only reason it's a thing is because we agree that we're looking for the same thing and we're progressing towards it. Now, could they lie? Yes. But you still want to frame it so you don't get caught with your pants down, literally and figuratively later on, and ask what we're looking for after hooking up and he just hits you with some bullshit, right? And or if he pulls some bullshit down the road, at least you can hold him accountable. You can't hold a man accountable. You can't say, well, you said you're looking for a relationship when he never said he was looking for a relationship, but he's getting the relationship benefits without actually being in a relationship, okay? You can't do that. Number two, the second thing you do, ladies, in terms of filtering is you need to, I always say, do your reconnaissance, aka your detective work, aka look at his dating history. Here's why I tell women to do this. Do not take this the wrong way. You know I love you all. You know you're all my favorite. Some of you nuts, but 90% of you, 95% of you I love, dearly. You are not going to be the girl to change these patterns, okay? So let's just call it what it is, right? Spade a spade. You're not going to be the girl to come in here and change his patterns. If he has not had a relationship in a really long time, you're not that special girl who's going to come in. If he hasn't had a relationship in 5-6 years, there's a reason, ladies. There's a fucking reason, right? He's not just going to wake up one day and be like, oh, you're so amazing, I want a relationship. There's a reason, okay? So you got to kind of find out his dating history. Why have you not had a relationship in so long, if that's the case? Is he recently single? Now, if a guy is recently single, now the question starts, am I a rebound? Is he even ready? And stuff like that. And most of the time, he's not. How long was his last relationship? If you just got out of a marriage, ladies, call it quits. Stop. Well, hold on, I don't want to say that. But be wary of it, okay? Was he cheated on in his last relationship? If he was cheated on, he probably has a whole listen, women get on me about this all the time. Again, pushback. I get so much pushback. They're like, well, that's not true. My girlfriend's girlfriend married a guy who got cheated on, and they met at a bar when he was drunk. They fucked, and now they're together and married. Okay, cool. That's not you. That's not 99% of people, right? When you get cheated on, ladies are different. Men, they take it, I'm sure you take it personal too, but men just have, let's put it like this. Men have a horrible way of healing. A horrible way of healing. I don't know what it is, that they have this different perspective on dating, this outlook on dating, where they're emotionally unavailable for a long time. And if you think you're the girl who's going to come around and change that, again, you're not. Nothing against you. You're an awesome chick. You're great. You will be a good girlfriend, a good wife, a good mother. You'd be all these great things. But that can't change the fact that the perspective a man sees when it comes to, and again, on top of that, that's if you're playing the game perfectly. Like, if you're already giving him relationship benefits and you guys are talking for 3, 4, 5, 6 months and you're not in a relationship, and he got cheated on in his last, there's a reason why you're in this situation. He wants to keep it this way, okay? So usually when a guy gets cheated on, I guess I can say it like this, or shorten this by saying he's emotionally unavailable, okay? So you want to kind of do your reconnaissance, aka look at his dating history. Now, the third step of filtering. After you filter, and I'm going to make more videos on this in the future in a lot more detail, but the third step of filtering, I always say, is are you talking to a guy who is balancing this investment, okay? Meaning the ratios, 50-50. If he's always asking you to come over, hang out, and hook up, we got a problem. If he's only texting you for sex, we got a problem. Now, this is guys you meet. If you haven't met the guy, completely different story, ladies. I'm talking about guys you're actually dating. If you're dating a guy and he's always asking, and he was great at first, right, taking you out, getting to know you for 2 days, and then he's starting to ask you to come over, and that's kind of your routine now, not good. It has to be like a 50-50. Not even that, like a 60-40. You should be going out a little more than hanging out, or than hanging out and hooking up, in the room. But that's not necessarily bad too. It's one of those things where it's like, okay, things are cool. I'm happy. My needs are met. I'm satisfied. I feel like there's depth in this relationship. I have no problem going over there. But if he's asking you to go over 3 times in a row and you're not going, and you guys ain't going out that weekend, that's a problem. The ratios kind of have to be balanced, which kind of leads to the next step, which is a man consistently investing his resources into you over time. What are resources? Time, energy, effort, money, all that type of stuff, right? And the reason this is so important is when it comes to emotional unavailability, listen, ladies, this is important. When it comes to emotional unavailability, I'll have a lot of women come to me and be like, hey, did I do something wrong? Is it me? What happened? He was so good last week and now he's changed. That's how emotional unavailability works. And a lot of women get this complex thinking that they're the problem, when in reality, what really happened was when a man is, I'm not saying all men, but when a man is emotionally unavailable, right? That's kind of the pretext here. When a man is emotionally unavailable, a lot of the times it lays dormant, right? It's laying in the body, not awakened. And there's 2 reasons for this. 1, doesn't need to be. There's no context built up. There's no reason for him to freak out. 2, men don't want to walk around thinking they're damaged goods. If I like a girl and I see her, I'm like, hey, I like you. I want to talk to you. I'm attracted to you. And you want to see where it goes. You want to give it the benefit of the doubt as the guy. But as context builds, meaning the things you guys do and say over time, when that starts to escalate, meaning hooking up, the frequency, the amount of texting, talking, communication, the amount of dates, how long you've been dating, future planning, the pace, meeting friends or family, leaving shit over the house, like anything and everything creates context. Once all that happens, okay, and again, here's the variable, a guy is emotionally unavailable, it awakens, because now there's a reason. Oh shit, this is moving really fast. I like her. I painted this picture telling her I want this, this, and this. I'm going along with everything. I'm moving at a fast pace. The guy gets in his head and freaks the F out, right? Now, the reason I'm telling you all this is it's important to have a guy consistently invest his resources over time, because any guy could do this for the first month. Any guy could do this for 4 or 5 weeks. It's when a guy hits the 6th week, the 7th week, the 8th week, the 9th, stuff like that, where, it's a good sign that there's still progression in the relationship and there's no hiccups, because you're always going to see some type of hiccup when a guy is emotionally unavailable. When you're at like the halfway point, you're going to start to see it slow. You're going to start to see a guy back off. You're going to start to see a guy get in his head, many other things. Okay, so halfway point is very, very, very important. And let me see if there's a 5th thing I get. Well, I guess this is, I guess you could throw this under here. The 5th thing I always say when it comes to filtering, I guess is kind of filtering. It's more of a deadline just so you don't waste your time. In my opinion, ladies, at the 8-week mark, you got to have the talk. If he's not taking you off the market, you got to have the talk. And the reason for this is I think a man knows very, very early on. And if you are attracting the same guys, the same shitty guys over and over and over and over, I think there's a reason, and we need to fix that, and we don't want to waste our time on these dudes, giving them the benefit of the doubt when they give us no reason to trust them, okay? You should be here's your dating strategy. You should be talking to 3 guys at a time. I'm not saying you got to fuck all of them. I'm not saying you got to hook up with all of them and stuff, but you should be entertaining 3 guys, and you're always going to like one the most, of course. You should be entertaining several men at once, meaning texting, talking, going on dates here and there, maybe different paces, of course. But never put one guy on a pedestal, because you never know what's going to happen. Things could be going great. You could take the other guys off the mats and be like, hey, whatever, I'm just talking to this guy. Then you find out this guy's emotionally unavailable, right? Two months in, you're screwed, right? You should be talking to all these dudes, and the more serious it gets, okay, cool. We're going to focus more time on this guy. But at 8 weeks later, if he's not taking you off the market, there's a reason. There's a reason. We don't want that. We do not want that. Okay, so with all that being said, if you are interested in getting a session with me and learning about your guy and your situation, links down below, ladies. Okay, hey, do not change who you are. I'm not saying that. Just be a little more wary, have a little more structure to your filtering process, and take everything a guy says with a grain of salt, okay? Because these guys are looking for certain, again, not all men, particular men, like emotionally unavailable men, narcissists, gaslighters, just shitty ass men. They look for these type of women with certain traits who are very caring, kind. It's no different. I hate to say it like this. It's no different than a murderer, right? Like this guy, it's like some Ted Bundy shit. Ted Bundy, was a good-looking dude who was carrying his books around with a limp, and some stilts, and he's like, hey, can you help me with these books? And then the nice women would get thrown in the car, right? I hate to say it, but it is what it is, okay? Don't fall for the Ted Bundy, okay? So with that being said, ladies, I love you all. Take care and peace.